Hi, and welcome to the I Am Perfectly Frank podcast. I am Frankie George McCullough, and the topics we have in these podcasts are intuition, self fulfillment, and trusting yourself. You'll see that I will be perfectly frank, and please subscribe to this podcast on your favorite platform. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the I Am Perfectly Frank podcast. I am your host, Frankie George McCullough, and today I wanted to talk to you about my book, The Man He's Stupid and the Girl She's So Bitch. The book was inspired by my mother, who happens to be Chaldean. My nationality is Chaldean. And Chaldeans are Christian Iraqis. They are, history says we were Babylonian. And so history tells us that we had some land in Iraq, or we ended up in what would now be today's Iraq. And our people, the Chaldean people, generally Roman Catholic, originate now from there, although we are probably 5% of all the people there, maybe 1% or less of all the people in the world. So we are a small people. In America, we have a very strong community here in Detroit, and we also have a pretty strong community in California, Chicago, Australia, Europe, and different places. At least these are areas where you'll find churches. I think also Mexico City. So we're a pretty spread out people, right? With our cultural background and all. Anyways, so my mother had met my present husband. I was married and divorced for a year, and I inherited a wonderful boy. And I was happy I got married, and I was even happy that I got divorced. So when she met my present husband, who I actually met just about 10 years after my first husband, she said to me when she met him, she said, "Francis, if you divorce him, I'm going to keep him and get rid of you." So I thought, okay, I'm doing a good thing here with my mom. And so then I come over about a week later, and I walk in the house, and immediately she says to me, "Francis, you need to learn the man." I'm like, "Okay, Mom, fine. What do you mean I need to learn the man? What does that mean?" She said, "You know, the man, he's stupid." I said, "Mom, what do you mean the man's stupid?" She said, "You know, today he gonna come home. You got the baby in your hand. The other baby, he running around putting poop everywhere, and you break the jar. And your husband, he walk in, he go, 'Hi, honey.'" She said, "Francis, he can't see the jar. He can't see the baby running from the poop. You look at him, he said, 'Honey, stop, I break the jar.'" Inside his brain, he think, "What did I did? I just walk in the house. Why she be so bitch?" Because you have the tone in your voice. She said, "But if you tell him, if you say, 'Honey, please, honey, wait, don't move. I broke the jar.' And then he gonna look, he gonna see," she said. "But if you don't tell him, he can't see the jar, he can't see the baby, he can't see anything." She said, "Francis, you think inside of your mind, how can you be so stupid? He's stupid because he can't see like you. He don't think like you. He don't act like you. If he don't have the file from his brain on this subject, he don't know nothing." I said, "Mom, is that going to help my marriage?" She said, "No, it's not going to help your marriage." I said, "Then why did you tell me?" She said, "Because it doesn't have anything to do with the love. It doesn't mean the man, he don't love you. It doesn't mean the man, he don't care about you. All it means is the man, he don't think like you. That's all it means. So don't think he don't love me because he didn't do this, or he don't love me because he didn't do that. It's not about the love. It's about the fact that he doesn't think like us, that he thinks linear." Well, I'm excited to tell you that the book is going to be out on audio definitely before April 15th, and I will post some stuff on social media to let you know about the book, and you'll start seeing some marketing on the book. And in Michigan, here in Michigan, which is where I'm from, I have a couple of other friends that wrote some books, and we're going to have a book signing for all of us together. They're all really, one is a novel, two of them are novels actually. Mine is really the only self help book or information book. Anyway, that'll be exciting. But in the meantime, I have, as you know, I coach and I help people figure out how they're in the way of their own life. And one of the things I never talked about before was this happiness factor or this peaceful factor. And the peaceful factor, when you are in a moment of any kind that is filled with the mind chatter, right? And it comes with worry and confusion. I don't know what to do. Oh my gosh, this is bothering me. What should I do? I don't know if I want to keep this job. I don't know if I want to leave. I'm not sure if I'm happy, if I'm not happy. I'm not sure if I like this man, if I don't like this man. I don't know, if I'm making enough money. My health is all messed up. Often, my experience has been 100% of the time when I have had the privilege of talking to people, usually within the first 5 minutes of our communication, they're able to get out of their head and think more clearly. They choose to talk for a little bit longer because they just want to unload the whole thing. But within the first 5 minutes, they say to me, "Oh, great, thanks. I feel better already." I'm not saying to talk to me. I'm saying to talk to somebody. Now, my mother would say to you, the best people to talk to is the stranger. I said, "Why the stranger, Mom?" Because they don't care. That your story is the only story they hear. They don't hear the other people's story. They only hear the story you have inside your brain. And the story you have inside your brain is your story. It's not the truth. It is the truth. Doesn't matter. It's the story. She was so right. She was so right about it feels better to us to talk to somebody that doesn't know the whole story or isn't attached to our story. It feels good to talk to someone that has no judgment about who we are. The other thing that feels good is it's okay to have our feelings. So many times people go, "Oh, don't feel that way. Oh, you're being silly. Why are you feeling that way?" And the truth is, the way you feel is okay. Until you can allow yourself to be okay with the way you feel or with your actions, as long as the actions are in good. In other words, you're not bringing harm to anyone. You're not reacting that's going to harm anyone physically or emotionally. Although when we are angry, we do harm the other person emotionally because we are harmed. We are in pain, and so we act in likeness. We act in bringing harm to another person emotionally. Both ways are pretty bad, physically and emotionally. Although the emotional one may serve us as long as we cannot be name calling and finding fault. To say to someone, "You hurt me so badly by these actions," as compared to saying, "You're such an asshole. You fucked up badly. I can't believe you did that. You're just a terrible human being. You've always been this way." Those are words people often use because they're coming from their feelings of pain themselves. And I have definitely done it, so I know I've walked that path. As I've gotten older, I've learned to keep my mouth shut for 24 hours, or at least an hour, before I say anything to anyone, because I know that I need that time to unwind and just relax. So I find that, in this book, The Man He's Stupid and the Girl She's So Bitch, it helps people see how they might be in their own way. It helps people see, at least this is the feedback I've gotten, they've helped people see how they can go, let me see. Let me sit with this feeling. Let me let myself be okay with the way I feel, even if the feeling is anger. And let me see how long I can sit with it before I need to react from it. Oftentimes, what angers us is pain or something that triggered a pain in us. And remember, the Buddha has told us that the human condition is to suffer, that we are supposed to suffer, that it's a condition that we have been trained to do. And in this book, with this crazy title of The Man He's Stupid and the Girl She's So Bitch, in this book, we talk about the role you play as a human being in the reaction you might get from somebody else. So you've heard people say over the years, you've heard me say, you cannot change another human being. I would say to you, the only way another human being can change would be if the circumstances of the experience they were having with you changed. For example, if the minute you walk in the door, I attack you, you ask, what the hell are you doing here? What the heck did you do? They're going to react and They're going to react and what? What the hell are you talking about? They're going to call you nasty names and so on. As compared to, I know I'm mad, I know I'm crazy, but I don't want that awful response back from him calling me names, him being nasty. Instead, I want to try my best to be calm. So when he enters the door, I could just look at him and say nothing. And he might say, are you okay? And you might say, I'm not okay. And he might say, what's wrong? And you're like, you know what? I am so angry. And then to get to the point and say, the other day or this morning, when I had asked you several times, you assured me you were going to make sure this happened. And then I had to leave work to go deal with this when you knew this was a big meeting I was having because you dropped the ball. Does not feel good to me that you did that. It feels like my life is unimportant to you, that just your life is important and my life is important to me, and we are a team. And I would hope that we could work together. If you couldn't do it, you could have just told me. I could have made arrangements for a babysitter or something. That's not what happened. And I want to scream and yell at you. I am livid right now. Well, that person can hear you in the tone I just gave you, even though you still had tone. As compared to, you asshole. You fucking told me you could make sure this was going to happen. I had to leave this big deal. I lost the deal because you couldn't pick up the kids. I couldn't step out of them. I couldn't find anybody else to do it. But if I would have known you couldn't do it, I could have called my sister and had my sister go pick them up, and everything would have run smoothly, and I wouldn't be yelling at you. When you yell at anyone, any of us, our brain goes dead because we don't know what the heck. Even if you tell us exactly what happened, we can't hear anything but past the yelling. That includes our mate, our children, our friends, our clients, our anybody. Just as devastating is being completely silent. Completely silent. And the reason we go silent is because we're too afraid to speak because of our rage is so great. But the other person doesn't know what to do with silence, and they don't know what to do with yelling. The first response you would get back if someone were going to respond would be somebody yelling back at you, and then it just becomes a yelling match, and nobody can win. But when the person can talk calmly and slowly and reasonably, even in their anger, they're going to get a reaction back from the other person. So your way of changing another human being would be do something different than what you did last time to get you a different kind of response from that person, regardless of how volatile they are. Regardless. Another example might be if they are attacking you. You could walk away, go into another room and say, I'm happy to talk to you about this, but not until you calm down. And even though they might follow you, you can lock the door, let them beat on the door, simply say to them, again, I want to talk to you. I just don't want to get yelled at. I want to be able to think clearly. This is another way. Another thing might be you always accepting someone's behavior. It's okay that they're always late in the morning to get them off to school. The role you play in that is, even though you say, no, come right now, you demand it, you fight it, you do everything, and they're still late, would be to create a life for yourself, if it's your children or your mate, so that that lateness doesn't affect you. You could affect it by getting them up earlier, by setting boundaries. What worked for me was saying, if you're going to go to school, you be in the car at this time, and if you're not, I'm leaving. Oh, they would get so mad when I left because they still needed 10 more minutes. But by the fourth or fifth day, they were in the car on time because it was something they wanted. It was very hard for me to do that task, but I did it because I didn't want it to continue to happen. I didn't like the way I felt when they were always late. I didn't like the fact that I yelled at them when they were always late. I'm talking about my family, my children. My friends, a different story. I have friends that are always late. I am annoyingly on time, maybe even early. Just because they're late doesn't make them bad or wrong. Just means that's how they operate. What you can do if someone is always late is, one, know that, and don't set yourself up for failure. Make sure you have a second plan for that time they're always late, so you don't feel like they're doing it to you, because in truth, they're not doing it to you. It's just the way they operate. There's a million different more examples I can give. I'm going to maybe put a bunch on the website, IamPerfectlyFrank.com. You can reach out to me if you choose to at Frankie@IamPerfectlyFrank.com. If you want to reach out to me for, hey, this is happening to me, can you give me a different way? And can you help me identify the role I'm playing in it? Because we don't have a mirror in front of us to see the role that we're playing in anything. We don't have a mirror to observe ourselves. We actually need other people. We also have to be willing to be open to what that other person viewed. And the other person needs to be open to doing it without judgment, doing it simply with observation. Did you know that Alline Salon Group is hiring stylists in Michigan? Candidates can receive up to $800 a year as part of their Student Loan Repayment Program. For more information, go to AllineSalonGroup.com. That's ALLINE salongroup.com. You see, I think we need to teach the world. I think we are moving into a different world. Into a world where people don't have to be so contentious towards each other. Into a world where we don't have to have war, where we can communicate differently through self-love, not through fear and anger. I think anger will always arise because we're not getting what we want. But when you are already full, you don't have to go and get something from somebody else because you feel full inside yourself. This dude, Jesus Christ, was that. Now, just the fact that he was on this earth, okay, and he showed us not the suffering, which is what many churches want to talk about. We need to talk about all the goodness this guy did, his demeanor, how he cared enough to say, it's okay if I die. I don't want to create war. That's pretty awesome. To feel secure enough in knowing and not afraid or being afraid and doing it anyway. To be secure enough in knowing that there is something after this place called life. And by the way, it's right here with me. I'm actually in it still. And when I leave this place called life, it's just my body shedding. And I still get to be a part of that place, that peaceful, fun, self-fulfilling, honorable. Because self-fulfilling for you is self-fulfilling for everyone. It's for everyone. When you're good to you, you're good to everyone. When you feel good about yourself, you create the space for other people to feel good about themselves, right? somebody called me a schmoozer one time. I'm okay with that. You know, if I'm a people pleaser, 100%. I love it. I don't see a problem with it until it is a problem. Until I'm pleasing somebody so much that I'm putting me aside. And then I, at this point in my life, can catch myself and go, huh, I should have said no. So the next time that person asks of me, I can go, yeah, no, I'm not gonna help you. I don't want to. Well, why not? I'd rather do this. I have plans. I'd rather just sit at home and hang out. Well, you're selfish. Thank you so much. I understand that may be how you feel. But in fact, I want to feel good about myself. And so I need to get out of the way of you and that experience because I tend to give to you too much to the point that I hurt my own feelings. That's a meme inside my book, by the way. Thinking so much and caring so much that you hurt your own feelings. I would say to you, you don't want to hurt your own feelings. What you want to do is create the space to feel good. What you want to do is create the space to go, I like this. I like the view outside my window. I like doing podcasts. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but I like doing podcasts. I like sharing information. I am not here to tell you what to do or what not to do. I am here simply to offer you a thought. That's it. If the thought resonates with you, enjoy it. If it doesn't, throw it out. Not useful. That's perfect. That's absolutely amazing. So this book, The Man He's Stupid and the Girl She's So Bitch, is written in conversation form. And you're going to find a lot of information about how to be good to yourself and what it looks like. I discovered a lot of people don't know what that means. Like, what does it mean to be good to myself? Just a few examples would be, it means I'm going to say no, or I'm going to stop and think before I say anything. I'm going to slow down and ponder for a second. Second's a long time, and it's also a very short time. But a second is enough time to go, let me think about what I want to do that day. And say maybe, I'm not sure. Can I let you know later? You see, you've read in Kurez's book. I can't remember the name of the book, darn it. You've read in some of these books, those people that are into self-help books, that keeping your word, and the word you need to keep, the most important word, is the word to yourself. Keeping your word is a very valuable commodity. So in honoring that keeping my word part, I might say, I don't know. I'll tell you when I do know. That way I can keep my word to myself. I may forget. So since I'm not sure, let me write it down and give you an answer, or feel free to reach out again to see where I'm at that time. Unless I have clarity. Yes, you need a doctor's appointment 2 weeks from now. Let me clear my schedule. Absolutely, I can drive you. Putting it in my book and keeping my word makes me feel great about me, and it makes that other person feel good about me. And by the way, when I go to take them, I don't have anger or contention or frustration, and instead, I'm happy to do it for them. It's a really nice place to be. Now, is this all the time, every day? No. But it's most of the time. It's often. Once you can get out of your own way and recognize the role you play in your own life and the way you react to the people that you choose to have in your life, including that cashier at the grocery store or the person at Starbucks that's not running behind deliberately because of you, but they have a lot of people they have to take care of. And you're frustrated because you need to get out. You might think, okay, I'm not going to stay at too many people. I'll go to a different place to get coffee, or I won't have coffee today, or I'll come back and get some later. Instead of getting all bent out of shape, where's my coffee? I ordered 7 minutes ago. Well, you're the 8th on the line, sir. It's 2 more people before you. What are they having? Well, this person ordered 25 drinks. Whatever it might be, ask questions. You play a role in the way you feel, in the way you act, in the way you react in your life. And what's very cool about it is you have power. You have the power to change that, not the other person. You have the power to change whatever you need to change inside of you. All this information is in the book, The Man, He's Stupid, and the Girl, She's So Bitch. I'm so excited to get this downloaded onto Amazon, so it will be an audiobook. And at that point, we'll have an audiobook. We'll have as we now have a paper book, we have it on Kindle. It will be an ebook. And you can call me or reach out to me for coaching at or basically it's just Frankie at IamPerfectlyFrank.com. Thank you so much for joining me today on this podcast. I really look forward to doing more. I enjoy doing these podcasts. I've backed up a bit on social media. I think I'd like to just do ads. And by the way, one last thing. Soon I will have a webinar on this creation class, on really how do I play a role? If I have the power, how do I play a role in creating my life? You see, from the time you were an infant to now, it was your parents that gave you direction. And sometimes you feel like, I don't like that direction. How do I find a different one? That's what this class will be about. Did I really want to be a doctor, or do I want to be a singer? And how to find that space, or believe it or not, create it, draw it to you through the energy of vibration and frequency. You guys, we have the power. Our awakening right now in this time of COVID and this war is for us to wake up, because collectively, as one person gets the power of goodness and love, and the next person gets it, and the next person gets it, we can wipe out the darkness. Truly, wipe out the darkness, wipe out corruption, wipe out the need to have so much, that I'm that much bigger than anybody else. Why can't everybody be big? Why can't everybody be powerful? Anyways, on that note, thank you for joining me at the I Am Perfectly Frank podcast. Thank you for allowing me to share my insights and my thoughts with you. Thank you to enjoying them, and I look forward to having you join me, maybe ask questions, and joining me on the rest of my podcast. Thank you for my sponsors, and I look forward to the next podcast. Have a great day. Hi, guys. Thank you for joining us today on this podcast. By the way, at the I Am Perfectly Frank website, you can find information about all the stuff I've been doing for the last 40 years. We treat pain patterns. We are coaches. We do intuitive work. We also do massage. We also help you understand what your pain is telling you so that you don't have it anymore. Anyways, again, check out the IamPerfectlyFrank.com website, and thank you for joining us today.